Hi, friends. Welcome to my favorite time of the week. The thing that we call Ask Me Anything. I am always here to help them get started. First things first, Unique Blast asked, would LinkedIn be good for product based businesses? Thanks for your generous help. And the Absolutely not. LinkedIn is the most amazing platform and it works for service and product based businesses. Ah. Y'all, y'all, I think my audio came back and it's delayed. Is it delayed? I keep on coming in and out. Y'all, I think we need a prayer. Okay, I'm back. And what I think, okay, so Paige is saying anytime you share your screen, it works, but it goes off during the presentation and it just stops. So, is the audio working right now? That's just what I need to know because then I can go back and repeat anything else I said. Yo, like I said, hot messiness. All I'm saying, number one, first and foremost, is that LinkedIn absolutely does work for any type of business. This truly is an opportunity for your business. You guys are going to hear me be sick and tired of what I have to say when it comes to understanding that it's about finding your ideal client and then catering content to them. So how then does that look? If you're going to be using LinkedIn for your business and you're a product-based business, and the same principles would apply if you're service based, but if you're a product based business, what you want to do is create content and post around your product that would appeal to somebody who's in the professional space. So let's say your product is hair care and you're like, how can I sell hair care on LinkedIn? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to give helpful content about how to professionally display your hair in the workplace using your product. What's the easy way to go from an office meeting at 4 to happy hour at 5? Well, you talk about how you can have a dry shampoo from your product-based business. Now, let's just say that your product is dog leashes and you're wondering, can I sell dog leashes on LinkedIn? The truth of the matter is, maybe your dream customer doesn't exist on LinkedIn, but how many business owners own dogs? A lot. They could be surfing LinkedIn looking for something else, and then you have this really great article about like the cutest dog leashes for entrepreneurs. Or this dog leash works great for entrepreneurs because and then you list the benefits. It's easy to wash. It's grab and go. You're not quickly spending time. It comes with an organizational frame for you to hang it up before you come in and leave to work. So the key always is to find your dream customer and then create content for them, whatever the social platform is. All right, let's dive in to another question is, how do you remain positive when the world is so negative? Every day I watch, and this morning I made a decision to show up and rise up. And Vanessa, I am positive that you made the right decision. I do believe that we are living in a time in human history where things seem and feel so much heavier. And if you are at a time or a space and a place in your life where looking at things on social media or the news networks overwhelms you and stops you from shining your light, it stops you from being you, it stops you from pursuing the thing that I want you to do, I'm going to encourage you to take the break that you need. Now, if you're saying, but Jasmine, I have taken breaks. 2020 was my break. Okay, fine. We have started a new year. So the thing I have to tell you, friend, is to remind you to hold on to your purpose. When the days are dark and the nights are cold and you feel like nobody understands what you're going through, when you feel like you do not have anybody in your family who understands what it means to start a business, if you're tired of hearing your friends say, maybe you should try something else, If you're feeling like that one client who you're like, I'm so excited to work with this client, and then the contract had just ended. If you have pitched yourself, if you had a submission, if you wanted to get featured, if you wanted to work with a PR company and none of those doors closed, on those days, the only thing that will keep you moving forward is your purpose. The only thing that will make getting out of bed less about how much money is in your bank account, but what have you been put on this world to do? Because I firmly believe without a shadow of a doubt that your business, AKA the thing that you're designing, if you're a photographer, if you're a graphic designer, if you're an influencer, whatever it is that you are doing in your business, you were put on this world to do it. No trash truck is not gonna stop me from talking. I'm gonna talk louder than it. Why? Because my purpose is to empower you to believe that the impossible is actually possible. How do I get up on dark days when we thought that starting 2021 was going to be a new chapter for us and all we feel like is an extension of a book we no longer wanted to read? How do I do that? I show up and I remember my purpose. And I pray that you do too. Let's dive into a few live questions. Okay. So Rachel asked, how important is engagement on LinkedIn? I'm finding and seeing a bunch of stuff on my feed. I have no idea how it got there. Is my stuff being pushed out like that too? Is it the same as Instagram? So the similarities between Instagram and LinkedIn, and the similarities between Facebook and LinkedIn, and the similarities between YouTube, Pinterest, and Twitter are the same as LinkedIn. They all are based on an algorithm. So Rachel and anybody else who's interested, if you're going to your LinkedIn feed and you're seeing things and you're wondering, how did this come up? Well, it depends, number one, on who you're following, number two, what you've engaged with in the past, or number three, if you're not following too many people and you have not engaged, then LinkedIn algorithm is going to guess what you might want to see as a new and active user on LinkedIn. And based on whatever you like, comment, or engage on, LinkedIn's going to show more of that for you. Your behavior indicates what you see on your feed. This is amazing. Because just like you, Rachel, there are other people who are going onto LinkedIn and they're like, I'm not sure what content I should be seeing. LinkedIn could take one of your pieces of content and serve it up to somebody else and say like, is this what you want to see more of? And Rachel and anybody else interested, your goal is to get people to like, comment, share, give insights, give it a thumbs up. Depending on how that platform judges engagement, you want them to take an action on what you just shared. Yes and amen. Okay, Steph Clark, is there an engagement formula for Instagram Reels? You shared one for just post, which I love. Oh, an engagement formula. Yes. How is engagement calculated? That engagement is calculated the same way. So engagement on Instagram, if we're talking about Instagram specifically, because Steph asked about Instagram, she asked about Reels, which is on Instagram. Engagement is likes, comments, when somebody shares it, and when somebody saves it. These are all powerful ways of engagement. Now, your engagement on a post or a reel is the same thing. You might get more views on a reel from one person. So the thing about, okay, so this is the main thing with reels and also on TikTok is reels and TikTok videos are made for virality. They're made for somebody to watch it more than one time. That's why you have so many views on a reel, is that there's a possibility of one person watching it more than once. So if you're like, Jasmine, I did a video and I got 200 views, and then I did a reel and I got 1,000 views, likelihood is that maybe a few people watched it more than once, which is amazing. But the goal isn't just for viewers. The goal is to get somebody to do something after watching your reel. That is like, comment, engage, and or share. That's the holy grail. Okay, Cece asked, Jasmine, can you share some tips on how to increase engagement on Facebook groups? Absolutely. I'm going to practice what I preach. So the Social Curator production team and we were talking about this new cool resource. We're calling it your Social Curator Daily Engagement Calendar. Like every day, we're gonna give you exactly what you need to do for engagement. We're so excited to launch it. But we were trying to figure out what to title it, right? So in order for us to, number one, hear back from our audience. And number two, we really wanted to drive engagement in our group. We put up a poll in our private Facebook group for Social Curator. People voted, we got engagement, and then they also were able to speak into the product. So how do you get engagement? You first ask, what is resonating with you? Number two, the way that we keep things very engaging and active inside of our Facebook group is I do live coaching. I do live Q&As. I do live coaching every single month. We also have guest contributors come in and teach social media strategy and marketing classes. And the Social Curator team, we host live Q&As. We host what we call Productivity Power Hour. We're teaching people how to write captions. We also have these things called Take Action Together calls. So what am I saying here? Number one, to get engagement in the group is ask what they want and drive by way of polls. Number two, going live with video is going to be the most profound and easiest way to drive that engagement. And then number three, ask questions that are not just related to your product or business. There are times in the group where we post like, what podcasts are you listening to? What books do you really like? All right, like what are you gonna binge on over the holiday weekend when it comes to like on Netflix or Amazon Prime? So what we're doing is we're asking basic questions to drive engagement, to increase the likelihood of other people seeing future posts based on engaging in the group. Okay, let's get into another of our pre-asked questions. This one, I gotta like this one. Okay, Krista, I have a simple question about affordable lighting for photos. Most of the time I try to take photos on sunny days with natural lighting. However, now that I'm trying to send out more content, I need more photos. Can you tell me what lighting I need for good lifestyle photos? I'm actually very excited. You guys, the freaking audio. What I was just saying, if anybody's even watching anymore, you probably logged off. It's probably just my mom watching this live video. That's who's here, Paige and my mom. Okay, right as I was answering the lighting question, I was saying that I had just previously got off a phone call with our creative director and our social curator manager. Katie, Tammy, and I are planning an amazing, and Paige is gonna be there. We are planning an amazing thing called a photo super shoot, which means we are going to be taking hundreds of lifestyle photos so that we can add to a photo gallery on the inside of Social Curator. I am saying all of this because even though we rented a studio, we are gonna be shooting everything in natural light. So please know that my advice when it comes to lighting is use the great big sun. And people will say, but Jasmine, where I live, it's cold and overcast. Overcast light is gorgeous light. You couldn't even pay good God to give you overcast light good enough that's gonna be better than artificial light. Having said that, what I am going to say is if you would like recommendations, these are what I recommend. Number one, natural light for 3 lighting scenarios. Number 2, a mix of natural and artificial light. So what does this look like? If you're wondering what a mix of natural and artificial light, if you are living in an apartment or in a rather small house and you do have a window that you can, sit in front of and you get natural light, but behind you it's so very, very, very dark and it looks like your head is floating, this is when I recommend mixing in artificial light, like a ring light, like a box light. Heck, you could just turn on a lamp in the background. So you have natural light and in the background, artificial light. That is a mixed lighting scenario. The third and final one that we recommend is artificial light across the board using one or multiple ring lights. So the question, and I just want to make sure that we're sending this out on the front end because a lot of times I get bombarded with questions about what's the right ring light I should use. If you go to jasminestar.com/Amazon, jasminestar.com/Amazon, I have linked to my ring light. I have linked to like a phone holder for when I go live. I've linked to the resources that I use when it comes to artificial light. I now have 2 ring lights. 2. if I'm going to use artificial light, if I have to, I'm going to use an artificial ring light on my face and then also an artificial ring light lighting up my background. But like I said, I am not here to sell you a dang thing. I'm actually sitting outside. It's an overcast day in Newport Beach. I'm about 3 miles from the water. And when you're by the water, during the winter, it's warm, but it's still overcast. But I'm in overcast light. I stepped outside. Why? Because natural light is going to be the most complimentary. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for dealing with these tech issues. There's just been so much going on. It's like the world trying to rise up against me. But you want to know what? Let's have a little bit of a throwback for this slide. I'm going to hold on to my purpose because tech issues ain't going to do with me today. Let's dive into your live questions. Okay. Cheyenne says, we're still here. We're still supporting you. Even if we can't hear you, it's like an old school movie. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm like, okay, I'm happy that you're here. Monica asked, what are your tips for someone who has never touched tech and would love to learn how to create videos and tutorials? Number one, I create a lot of free resources. You can go on my Facebook page, click on the videos tab, and you could scroll through endless video tutorials on how I create videos. You can also, if you prefer viewing on Instagram, you can go to my IGTV and you could see I've created tutorials on how to create a GIF using just your iPhone, a GIF of yourself. I have created tutorials on how to create your first reel. I have created tutorials on how to add text or subtitles to a screen. I have a lot of tutorials out there. Definitely check it out. If you would like, we're in closed enrollment for Social Curator, so it's closed right now, but I have to say that we're really proud. The content and production team on the inside of Social Curator, we create robust video tutorials on how to do what you want to do. So we released a 30-minute video tutorial on Instagram Reels, not just how to do Reels, but how to add the text, when to add them, the strategy behind it, how often you should be doing it, what makes a reel a good reel when it comes to business. So definitely check out my free content. If you want to go deeper on the inside of Social Curator, be sure to sign up for the wait list. If you go to socialcurator.com/wait list, sign up for the wait list, get our information, and when we open those doors, I would love to see you there. Okay, Diana had a meal. I'm struggling to find my niche. Any advice for me? When it comes to creating your niche, the best part of what you want to look at is not how big is your industry. It's not how many people are already in this niche. It's not I'm never going to be discovered or my voice will never be heard. It is none of those things. When it comes to your niche, you want to clearly identify who do you serve. Now, you can't just say, I serve everybody. I serve all types of people. That could be true, but when it comes to defining your niche, you first want to say, who do I serve? Women? Men? How old is this person? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have children? How much money do they make? What do they do professionally? When you start creating an identity of who you're clearly serving, all of a sudden it opens your eyes to speaking to that niche specifically. And when it comes to the idea of speaking to your niche specifically, right now I haven't said anything. I just said identify the person. Identify the person, which step one, identify the person. Step two, you want to talk about how you as a business owner can help solve a problem, diminish fear, or empower them. I don't know what your business is, but if you know how to help somebody lose weight, become a better parent, if you know how to empower somebody to find their purpose in life or to change their mindset, if you know how to diminish fear by not losing opportunity costs, by giving a clear path to getting results, if you can help, empower, or diminish fear, that's part of finding out who your niche is. And lastly, you have to ask yourself, who am I to do the thing I want to do? Who am I to do the thing you want to do? And this is where people get the most stuck. It's not who am I serving. Most of the time people can kind of figure out like men, women, what age, can kind of get an idea. And then they can clearly identify like, yeah, this is what I do. I help people, or I empower them, or I teach them. Great. And that last one, who am I to do this? What education do I have? What awards do I have? Have I been featured? Have I taken classes? Do I have a license? Do I have a large following? Do I have a unique way of speaking? Do I have a good way of writing? Do I know how to create videos? Anything. And oftentimes this is the hardest part, because what people say is my videos aren't good enough. I'm not good enough to speak. I'm not pretty enough to be on camera. I don't have enough money. Somebody's already said it before. I don't have awards. I don't have a website. I have no social following. What we do is we talk to ourselves negatively. I don't know about you, but how often do you just wake up and you realize, man, I have been speaking so mean to myself? There are times where I literally have to stop myself and say, we do not have time for this today. What happens is we listen to our limiting beliefs. A limiting belief is a subconscious thought that keeps us stuck. A limiting belief is a decision that our mind makes to choose to focus on what we don't have instead of focusing on what we want. What we don't have versus what we want. Where your attention goes, that's where you grow. If you only focus on what you don't have and what you lack, you will only ever stay here. If you turn your focus and focus on what you want and how you will get there, guess what's going to happen? You go here. So I know the question was, how do I find my niche? I'm going to tell you, you already know how. The challenge then becomes, do you have the courage and the chutzpah and the wherewithal to say, I'm going to choose to focus on all the things that I do great, even though I feel like it's not enough. I'm going to keep on focusing on this, because when I focus on the positivity, when I focus on what makes me unique, when I focus on how well I serve people, where my attention goes, that is what grows. Friends, this is what we talk about every single week when we go live. I appreciate you all just showing up in big ways. Okay, Martinique, I really like your jacket. Where is it from? Martinique, I actually don't know, but let me take it off. Let me figure that out. And while we're actually talking about this, y'all, look at this surprise. Oh, come on. Come on. Y'all, I think I'm like 85 years old. Give me a shirt with brocade and brown buttons. Come on. A grandma would wear this shirt, and I'm obsessed with it. The shirt is actually free, people. And the jacket is Mother Superior. There you go. Okay, let's get into Monica. Bless. Thank you so much, Jasmine. We'll check these out. Just came across you via the Universe's Synchronicity, sending you love from sunny Australia. Hey, Monica, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy. I'm honored. All right, let's dive in. BMB said, I'm a hairstylist and an industry educator, so I'm struggling toggling between focusing on clients or hairstylist. Right now, if you're just like, here's the thing, Bambi. Hairstylists are very much struggling, specifically on the coast. If you are an American-based hairstylist, number one, I see you, I honor you, and I want to say don't give up. Hairstylists can't work in California. They haven't been able to work on and off for months, almost a year. In March 2021, it will be a year that hairstylists in California have not been able to work consistently. So the fact that Bambi's like, I'm struggling balancing between the two, you do however much you can, however you can. Bambi, I'm just going to encourage you to please post at minimum once a day. Even if you have to wake up 10 or 15 minutes earlier to get that post out, put it out. I am not saying at this point, Bambi, maybe in the future, because you're doing education for hairstylists and you're doing client work. I get it. Right now, you're just like, I'm trying to survive. Good. You just try to survive. Just keep on posting. Whatever you can dedicate, 10 or 15 minutes a day. Build up the discipline now. And when things become in full swing, and when you fill up your chair, and you can dedicate more time to creating education for hairstylists, then you can decide, do I need separate accounts? Do I dedicate all of my content to just education for hairstylists? What I can say, Bambi, and anybody else who is in the creative field and also doing education, in the creative field, also doing education, very much like your girl. I am a photographer. I've since pivoted my business focus, but for 12 years, I was just a photographer. And just like you, Bambi, I was serving clients, magazine editors, art directors, my photography clients. I was servicing them, but I was also teaching photographers. I didn't have two separate accounts. I had one account. So what I was doing is I was showcasing my client work, but also at the same time, I was adding tips for other photographers to duplicate, replicate, and learn from what I was doing. one piece of content for my clients, but also adding educational components for other photographers who are following me. B&B, I invite you to do the same. This is about working harder and not smarter. Okay, friends, every week I answer questions, I go live. I do this truly because in my heart, when I started my business, I made a promise to God and I said, if I ever started a business, if I ever became successful, if I ever became a person that anybody would want to hear from, I would want to share everything I know. Every week, I make the dedication to go live to share what I know. I wish you all the best. If you think that somebody would enjoy this video, pass it along to them, our tech issues and all. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. It's always an honor and a privilege. Much love. Connect with you guys.